Well, that was fun.
Hey everyone, my name's Ben, and this is the story of the most difficult hazard tree I've ever had to face. This fir is grown out of a rock on a cliff above an important power line. We tried to access it using the helicopter, but it was simply too steep, so we decided to hike up from below with all our gear. It was definitely a mission. This whole area is just full of old logs and cliffs and bluffs, and we had a lot of stuff to bring up there, so it took an army, but we managed to make it happen.
I refuse to do 2 trips.
After some effort, we made it to the bottom of the cliff, and made a plan to shoot a rope in that tree growing out of the bluff. We also took the time to clear out anything that might get in our way while we're trying to do this. Setting a line in the top of the cedar was our best option. You couldn't actually climb that tree because it's grown directly into the rock, so this worked out pretty well. After weight testing the anchor, Tig went up first with the first round of gear. I then gracefully followed suit. Unfortunately, on day 1, my GoPro decided to film the inside of my pocket while I was hiking up, so I didn't have any good footage. I only have this photo to show the scale of the tree. And to top it off, the storm blew in pretty hard.
Attempt 1 at this tree. Weather's rolling in, we're pulling out for the rest of the day. But I do have a line set that high up for now. Good point to get back to tomorrow. All we can do is try.
Another factor in deciding to pull the pin was the lack of medevac. If there's weather and the helicopter can't fly, then we have no way of getting off the hill. We can't actually get a stretcher up there.
Would you just call me?
The next day we set off for round 2 with a better attitude. The weather was much nicer, we had a line set and the gear stashed, so everything was in our favor to continue on.
Hi, brother.
Yeah. Best of luck, mate. Let me know what you need. I'll keep an eye on you, and if I think something can change, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Cameras will never do justice to how leaned out this tree actually was, but it kind of worked in my favor. I was able to climb this thing basically freehand with Tig tending my rope below, just using spurs and gripping the bark. That's working great.
Yeah. Not my first rodeo. Just let me know if I'm pulling out time with you.
The biggest downside to doing it this way though is that if I do slip and fall around the side of the tree, I'm only going to pendulum out to the low side and hang off where my tie-in point is. So that could be 200 plus feet down to the deck below. So that definitely had the palms sweating to get up to that point. So a little bit of background on this tree. This is actually a target for the power line below. This company brings us out every fall, and we do a hazard tree program from one end of the power line to the other, and it goes through some of the gnarliest terrain on Earth. I'm fortunate enough to supervise this program, so every fall my company will send me a bunch of good guys, absolute tree killers, best in the business, and we'll just go out and try and push our limits and do all these crazy trees. It's definitely one of the craziest jobs you could ever imagine. The select few of us that get to do it absolutely love it. I feel honored I get to even be a part of it. This is the coolest experience in my life, and I get to be leading from the front with a good group of guys around me. It wasn't a flawless attempt, but I made it back to my tie-in point. Felt good to get back to this point. I was less worried about swinging around the low side of the tree now that I was up at my tie-in point. And from here, I just have to use my rope system to try and ascend this tree on the high side.
Fucking A.
Yeah, there's a good blanket over here. We're just above it at the moment. But it is filling the valley out pretty well. Well, we're soft right now. Not great.
As I was getting myself anchored into the tree, the fog started rolling in pretty heavy, and we had a crew below that was doing slashing, and they couldn't see us, we couldn't see them, so we shut it down for a bit.
Hey Adam, how you guys doing for fog down there? Oh, it's foggy as shit. We're just kind of waiting for it to roll over us. Yeah, we're pretty foggy up here as well. It's moved up a little bit. Ben's head to the top of the tree to get a good anchor point. See what's going on as well.
Yeah, I'm holding off on any cutting for now. I can't see anything.
Yeah, good call, guys. This is
No, no, I just got back to where I left off from yesterday, just ascending the rope. So I'm just kind of tied into some limbs, waiting it out. But yeah, from my angle up here, there's nothing. It's just a whiteout. It's kind of spooky.
You should get a picture of it up there. I bet that's a spooky sight.
Yeah, it's kind of cool actually. It's I'm just floating in a log in the abyss right now. There's nothing around me or below me.
Once the fog started to break, I continued my ascension up the tree. I was just throwing my climb line up around the high side limbs here and tying it back onto itself so I could use that as a safe anchor point, and using my steel cord lanyards tied to my bridge around the limbs to anchor myself on the high side of the tree, so I couldn't actually rotate around. It's hard to tell on camera, but the tree had such a heavy lean, it was so hard to stay on the high side of this thing, so I was using every system I had to try and anchor myself from rotating around.
Yeah, we're starting to open up here. I can see the trucks again, and we're above the fog line now. Right on, yeah, open up a little here too.
With the weather improving and feeling like I was starting to make some actual progress up this thing, I was motivated to try and get myself up into the top of it now. After fighting for longer than I care to admit to get my rope up around that limb, I remembered I had a steel carabiner attached to my harness for this exact moment that I hadn't been using so far, so I was pretty stoked to realize that and be able to continue on with something that actually works better for the job. It was getting to the point now where I was going to start cutting some limbs off this tree and opening up windows. You'll notice I leave stubs here and there. That's more for tie-in points as I rappel down. It's hard to throw your line around the tree. I'd rather just have a high side stub to tie around. So if you're wondering why I'm leaving 1 foot stubs all over the place, that's why. With the fog breaking, I really start to get a perspective on how high up this tree actually is. It starts getting pretty spooky looking down there.
Oh yeah. First try. Definitely in a bit more of a better mood about this today. I feel like I'm actually making progress. Slowly but surely.
You'll see me take the time to pull the moss off these limbs before I cut them. It's because there's so much soil and debris underneath that moss that actually dulls your chain as you're going. You're basically just cutting through dirt, so trying to avoid it as best I can so I have a sharp chain by the time I get to the top. As the tree tapered, I felt like I was getting in a bit more of a rhythm now, and things started flowing a bit better. I was getting real excited to get to the top of that tree.
Yeah, dude, if you just get above that next swirl above you, I think you're good.
I agree.
Finally getting close where I want to take the top. It was good to get the steel core around the tree. Felt a lot safer that way. It was just over bar length here, but it was at a good point where if I took the top straight the lines, it still wouldn't hit, so I felt pretty good about taking it side hill. As I got myself securely anchored, you can hear Tig down there warming up that 500i. Sounds pretty sweet against that rock face.
Where is that cut? Right there. All right, boys, back cut.
I can't even begin to describe how good that felt.
Exploded.
Whoa. Fuck yeah! Woo!
Well done, mate.
What a mission.
I mean, technically, that's a 300-foot tree.
I'll stand by that. I fucking love this job, man.
Now you do.
Yesterday I didn't. There we go.
After soaking in the moment, I rappelled down far enough that I could take a chunk. Large enough but safe enough for the lines. I just had to pull the saw up.
That's better. Whoop, a little bit more.
The lean on this tree made it difficult to pull that saw up, but Tig had it managed down there.
Up at 4K.
That did some carnage down there.
After a quick photo op, I was happy to say that tree was a safe height for the lines. I left this tree as a stub with live limbs at the safe height it was. It'll maintain its root structure in the rock, hold the rock together, and those old growth limbs will take decades before they try and become new tops, so it won't be a problem for a long, long time.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, that's it.
Thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to go check out Ben of the Forest on Instagram for more consistent content, and like and subscribe on here so I can create more for you. Thank you. Be safe out there.